What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Nikki, and today we are going to talk about how to get from this to this. So we're going to discuss in this video how to transition from a straddle planche into a full planche and why it's one of the hardest steps on the planche journey for a lot of people. As well, I'm going to share with you my favorite drills that I've used personally and with clients to help them break through this common plateau. So before we hop in, I'm going to assume that you have like a basic understanding of what planche is, how it's supposed to be, the form, etc. And also for you to get the best out of the drills, I have to say it would be best if you do have a 3-second straddle planche hold. If you don't, you'll still learn a lot from the video, but to be able to implement the drills into your training, it'd be best if you go and you master a clean 3-second straddle planche. All right. So as you all know, the planche is a position where your body is held parallel to the ground by the arms. Now, particularly for the question of transitioning from a straddle to a full planche, it requires bringing your legs together. And though it may seem simple, there's a reason why it's the most common plateau that people hit when they're trying to learn their full planche. The reason? Bringing the legs together moves your center of gravity away from the shoulders. This has two effects. First, the shoulders need to generate more torque to hold the body up. To avoid getting into too much math, if the center of gravity moves from the belly button in a straddle to the hips in a full, that could be something like it moving from 10 inches away from the shoulders to 12 inches. And that 2-inch change means a 20% increase in the torque required to hold your hips and legs up. So though the body weight force is the same, essentially, your weight is not changing, the magnitude of torque is really what makes this move so difficult. Second, to balance, you need to move your hands those same 2 inches to keep them under the center of gravity. And since you are already fully protracted and depressed in your straddle planche, the only way to gain those 2 inches is to extend your shoulders more. And this puts the shoulder in a position of decreased leverage. So this move is much harder because you're putting your body in a position that makes it harder to generate more torque, and you're requiring it to generate more torque. But luckily, guys, we know what we need to do to overcome this plateau. We need to take an approach that tackles the two main aspects of a perfect planche: strength and proprioception. You see, though the planche is a move that requires a high level of strength, it also requires a high level of proprioception to perform perfectly. Proprioception is often referred to as the body's sixth sense. It means the awareness of your body in space. In terms of the planche, that means learning how to fully activate each and every fiber of your muscles correctly and efficiently to produce the maximum output for planche performance. So we're going to do the following by 1. Strengthening all of the muscles involved in the planche. That means the shoulders that are the primary muscle involved and all of the secondary muscles in the body that work in unison with the shoulders. And 2, by gaining a higher level of proprioception when it comes to the full planche posture and muscle recruitment. You see, without a proper understanding of proprioception, you should honestly expect your efforts to be suboptimal when it comes to training planche. So now let's get into my favorite drills to increase your strength and your proprioception and unlock your full planche. But I will say this, before we get into the drills, if you're about to try them, please make sure you're warmed up and ready to train. Let's go. So drill number 1, straddle to full. What you're gonna do for this drill is you're gonna get into a normal straddle planche hold it for 1 to 2 seconds, and then close your legs into the full planche position. Come back down and then repeat. If you get to the point where you could do 5 reps of this in a row relatively easily, I would say that you'll be able to hold a full for at least 2 seconds. What I love about this drill is that you could get into the normal straddle planche that you're accustomed to doing and then close your legs for the last brief moments of the hold. What that does is it starts getting your shoulders used to the strength needed to hold your body up in that position. As well, it starts to teach you how to engage the secondary muscles necessary to hold the full planche, as opposed to the straddle planche, like your core, your hip flexors, etc. It's a great way to start introducing your body to the new load that is required of it, and it's a great way to give your body the opportunity to adapt and find the most efficient way to bear that load. Drill number 2, low full planche holds. So for this drill, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get into a perfect full planche position. However, instead of being perfectly parallel to the ground, you're gonna have your toes just 1 to 4 inches off the ground. This is gonna demand a little more shoulder strength than a straddle, but a little less than a perfect full. I love this drill because it's a great way to start training your proprioception. It's gonna give you the time to understand the total body and muscle engagement necessary to hold the perfect full position. A great way to perfect this drill is to either film yourself or have a mirror handy so that you can make sure that your form is on point even though you're not perfectly parallel to the ground. And as well as strengthening your shoulders, it's a great drill to focus on strengthening all the secondary muscles that you use in your planche to hold that correct body position, including scapular protraction and posterior pelvic tilt, as well as full engagement from head to toe. Drill number 3, super advanced tucks. So this drill is pretty straightforward. You're gonna extend your knees away from your chest while in a tuck planche position, past the advanced tuck, into what I like to call a super advanced tuck. The reason this is a great drill is because once your knees are past your wrists, the super advanced tuck actually becomes just as challenging as a straddle. However, in terms of proprioception, it's actually much closer to a full planche than a straddle is. So this is a great way to strengthen your shoulders whilst gaining a greater understanding of the muscle engagement needed to hold a full planche. A great thing about this drill is that you can make it harder and harder by extending your legs further away from your chest. Just make sure that you maintain your PPT and your scapular protraction, because it's a super common tendency to see people anteriorly tilt their pelvis when extending into a super advanced tuck. So remember to maintain that posterior pelvic tilt and extend through your hip flexors. Finally, ankle weighted straddles. Honestly, guys, this drill is purely a strength building drill. Once you can hold a clean straddle planche for over 3 seconds and you're actually working for a full planche, I would recommend maybe buying a pair of ankle weights. I bought mine from a local sports store for about $20, but I mean, worst case, if you don't have access to anything, you could use a heavy pair of shoes or some boots. The ones that I have here are about 10 pounds each, but you could get away with less. Honestly, they're a little heavy. Just strap them on and hold your straddle for as long as you can. Well, there you have it, guys. Those are my favorite drills to unlock your full planche and break through that straddle planche plateau. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you gained some knowledge from it, and see you guys next time.